care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. Let's go ahead and open up that Zoom waiting room and let people in. Yes, we are live. So if you're watching one of the live streams and you'd like to join us in our live Zoom studio audience, you are welcome to do so by going to zoom.dailywithdoc.com. So that is zoom.dailywithdoc.com. And we are Monday through Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific time. That is 1 Mountain, 2 Central, 3 Pacific or Eastern. Sorry. And I think that's like 9 o'clock if you're in South Africa and that time zone. So we are here to offer inspiration both in health and wellness and business. And today I have one of my favorite business mindset coaches, as we are going to be sharing a little bit about how you too can be a go-getter and use the gifts that you've been given with the right mindset to not only create an income, which we don't make any income claims, but also to create more purpose in your life and helping others find a better health journey and more purpose. So I am super excited as we are able to come to you Monday through Friday and bring information and have it just spread out across all of the different platforms. If you are watching us live on one of the live streams and there's a way for you to let us know that you are there, let us know where you're joining us from. We want to know what the actual reach of our program is. And most importantly, as you're listening, share. As we're getting thumbs up and love and shares, we're able to help more and more people find what it is that is possibly missing in their own lives. So this program is being sponsored by dailywithdoc.com. That is dailywithdoc.com. And we have a newsletter, we have an email list. Make sure that you are getting connected with that, as we're going to be sending out more articles and things that are helpful, plus reminders of the programming and also links to replays of our programming. So we don't want you to miss out. Again, that's dailywithdoc.com. Sign up for our email list. And most importantly, if you were invited by somebody specific, we are a resource for an amazing community, a community of certified holistic health coaches, health advocates, business-minded people who have found that the solutions we offer within the opportunity that we offer really do work. And I know that they'll work for you. So make sure that you get back with the person that shared this program with you and tell them thank you. Let them know what you liked best about this program. And most of all, ask them how you also can get involved and use your talents to help promote wellness, and not just wellness and health, but holistic wellness. Well, today we have with us, and hello, Leonard from New Jersey. Welcome. Thank you. But today we have with us Paul Kroto. He is one of the founders of the Institute of Holistic Health. He is also a certified trainer with a John Maxwell, and also Tony Robbins as one of the top 100 trainers in Tony Robbins' organization. He'll correct me on the whole terminology and everything. But most importantly, he has a heart for others and helping people find what it is within them that is great and let them see how great they are. And a lot of it has to do with mindset. Oh, so he's a certified leadership coach with John Maxwell Foundation and is a Tony Robbins trainer. Thank you so much. As I had this up here and then I got lost, but that's just the way it is. But today, the goal-getter's mindset, folks. We're going to be talking about the secret to setting and crushing goals here on Daily with Doc. It is my honor and privilege to bring to the screen with me Paul Kroto, my friend, my mentor, and just, Paul, you radiate what it is about being a go-getter and how helping people realize that it's within them as well. So let's talk a little bit about that today.
Outstanding. Well, I'm super honored to be on this show with you, Becca, and all your people that are assisting you on this. It's such a great movement that Dr. Wallach has created, and you've been an instrumental part of keeping going. And so I'm just honored to be here on Daily with Doc and to be here to kind of add some value to people's lives today.
Well, that's what we try to do each and every day, is add value. There's so many different things going on in life that are taking away power, and we're all about giving it back.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's what I love about what you and Cheryl have put together with the Institute of Holistic Health, the training that is offered there in becoming a certified holistic health coach, whether you want to do it for your own good or to create a business. So when you're looking at creating a business, Paul, what are the things that you're looking for?
Well, I'm assuming you're asking a question about people building a business and what are the steps they can take to kind of start off and
well, what are the things if you were looking to start a new business? Because I know you not only are certified the trainer, with Tony Robbins and with John Maxwell, you're a business owner with the Institute. You're also a business owner with several restaurants. I mean, you've been in business, you've been in mindset. Now, if you are starting fresh with the knowledge that you have, what are the things that you would look for in something that you're willing to put your time and efforts into?
Well, the first thing I always have people do is know what the result is that they want. Like, what are we doing here? Why are we doing this podcast? Why are we doing anything in life? So I get people to get really crystal clear on what is the result that they're looking for. So if it's that you find something you're passionate about, I think there's a lot of talk out there about finding your purpose. You know, what is God put me on this earth to do? I think one of my favorite quotes is, the two most important days in your life is the day you're born and the day you figure out why. So it's I know when you do this show, when you are out there helping people, you can feel like you're living on purpose. And this is absolutely what God put you here to do on this planet, is help others, specifically with their health. You know, so there's so many different ways to help people in the world. And you know, I being a Tony Robbins coach, I know that his number one saying is that success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. So not only do we want to be successful, we want to run a business and have business success, but while doing it, we want to feel fulfilled, that we're really making a difference in the world. Every single person has a human need to contribute. And I think working that into your business plan is absolutely critical, where people kind of sometimes, as you know, get caught up in the dollars and cents and working for the money. But am I really changing someone's life? Am I really helping them? And I use the word elevate their life to a new level. And that's my goal, is to help everybody just improve a little bit every day, by 1%, so that their life is constantly getting better and better. They're constantly getting better and better, and their business is constantly getting better and better. And if we do that 1% every day over the course of a year, you can be 37 times better than you are right now. So it's just that little bit of improvement every day that compounds over time, and you become a completely different person, have a completely different lifestyle. So it's got to start though with knowing the result that you want. So if it's a business, I have people say, okay, well, what do you want this business to look like? What are and I don't want, I want descriptive words, but I want specific numbers too. Like, I want to make this much money. I want to have these many followers on social media. I want to grow a community of 1 million people. I want to, you know, change 100,000 lives, whatever it may be, but it's very specific. And I love stating things as if they've already happened. So it's feeling that this is already accomplished. I love the quote where we say that you should live life as if your prayers are already answered. So that's how I live my life. Even when I wasn't successful, I had it in my mind, getting your, you know, we talk about mindset here on this podcast, that it's about getting that mindset of it's already happened, so that there's no lack in my life whatsoever. And if there was something I could help everyone, all your listeners, get to, is a point where there's no lack. It's already there. It's everything you need is already there. As we know, as the universe already, everything that you want is already present in the universe. So it's just a matter of you attracting it in your life. And the best way to do that, I believe, is to act as if it's already happened.
Well, and when you're acting as if it's all already happened, you're kind of breaking chains from the things that were holding you back.
Yeah. Yeah. So in our lives, we have 3 stories we can focus on: the past, the present, or the potential. So we all have a past story that we can all, if I ask you what your story is in the past, you can tell me. If I could ask you what your present story is, you tell me everything that's going on in your life today. But there's this third story called your potential story. It's what your life could be like. And, or, you know, if you could design it. So the first question I ask people in my audience is, do you want to live life by default or by design? If you want to live by default, then there's no need to listen to this anymore. Just go live your life, see what happens. It'll all work out one way or another. I don't live life that way. I live it by design. So I actually create what I want to happen in my life before it happens. So that's where knowing the result is. And people approach me all the time and they're like, Paul, I feel like I'm busy all the time. I'm doing all these things, but I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. And I'm like, well, where is it that you wanted to go? And they're like, oh, I don't know. I had no idea. So you got to know the result that you want first. So I'm going to create this, and I've created this. And I like starting out by saying, I'm so happy and grateful that blank, you know, and if Becca, if we didn't see each other for 5 years now, after this podcast, and I met you and I said, oh my God, Becca, how's it going? I haven't seen you in so long. And like, how are things going? And you said, well, they're going perfect. And I'm like, perfect. That's an odd thing to say. You're like, yeah, it's absolutely perfect. Well, tell me about that. So you tell me about, your physical health, how healthy you've been, and how, happy you've been, and your spiritual life, and your emotions that you're feeling, and the career that you have, and your financial situation, and all the relationships in your life, and the kind of lifestyle that you live. You'd have this story that you would tell me, just like you have a story about today. But to write that story down now, before we got to the 5-year point, because 5 years is going to go by one way or the other. Just think about, my gosh, like I remember, so someone sent me this morning a Facebook post I made 7 years ago. I got a puppy 7 years ago, and she's 7 today. So it's thinking back when she was born, like, oh my gosh, that went by so fast. There's no way that was 7 years ago, so we all can look back at things and say how fast time goes by. So we know 5 years is going to go by in a blink. And so it's, are you living that by, we'll just see what happens over the next 5 years? Or are you really going to sit down and design it to go the way you want? But the design starts with knowing the result that you want. So through our Elevate community, we help people actually write that story and come up with these results that they want very specifically. And we do this with all the health coaches, as you know, and the Institute of Holistic Health. So we get people very clear on what their health coaching business is how they want it to look like. The next thing is we want to know why. So why in the world do you want that? So it's one thing to say, I'm going to go to the mall, or I'm going to go here or there, but why? Why would you do that? Why would you go to the supermarket? Well, because I need eggs and steak and butter and, things to eat, so it's the why that really drives the result that you want. So, the why is so, so important. So if you get caught up in every business, there's going to be highs and lows. I promise you, everything's not going to go perfect. So when things get rough, you have to go back to that purpose, back to the why. Why am I even doing this? And you talk to Dr. Wallach, he's the best of all time at this. He knew that if I don't do this, no one else will. So I've got to get the word out there on how to really get healthy. So he was on a mission. He's on a mission to spread this message to everybody on really how optimal health is truly created, because no one else knows it but him. So it was a mission he was on. It. He had a purpose. So he knew his result. Was to help people elevate their health all along. But when he's on the road and he's doing this and that and doing all these podcasts and talking to these hundreds of people that he does every day, there's got to be, the purpose behind it has to be there. And that it is stronger in him than anybody else I've met in my life. So he's been a great mentor to me and teaching this concept of purpose. But not just purpose, you got to have a third thing, which is your map. So how the heck am I going to get from where I am now to where I want to get to? Because I'm at, if you just mentioned that someone's just starting out their business today, they're at zero. So there has to be a business plan in place where, and this part can change. Trust me, it's kind of the analogy I like to use is driving at night. So you got these headlights. It's about, you can see like 100 feet, 200 feet in front of you, but that's it. You're not sure what's happening beyond that. So to think you're going to sit down and make a map from A to Z and just follow it perfectly and get there like that, you're crazy. One thing I've learned over 30 years is that does not exist. But you got to come up with a good general plan. Like, this is how I'm going to move forward. This is the battle plan. And I'll talk about a little bit in a minute here about how to make adjustments to that. But there has to be a plan going into it. Again, just living by default or just like my favorite thing people say is I'm just going to wing it. That's not a good plan. That's not a good strategy to just wing it here. We'll just see what happens. Have a detailed plan on how you're going to, move forward. We could adjust it, but there has to be a map there to start with. And you're going to run into detours and dead ends and all kinds of things that you never would have saw coming had you not taken that first step. So I do understand people that get caught up in the plan and they're like, well, I don't got my plan totally figured out yet, so I don't want to take that first step forward. Trust me, you start taking 2, 3, 4 steps forward, the plan's going to become crystal clear whether you should go left or right at this moment, and worry about that then. Just start walking. You get a decent plan down. And this next part, so our whole system that we use at Elevate, Cheryl and I use, is called Plan, Do, Review. So that's the entire system. If you want to achieve anything in life, I don't care if it's build a business, change your health, improve your marriage, whatever it is in the world that you want to do, plan, do, review is the system to use. So we got a plan. We know where we're going. We know why we're going there. We know how we're going to get there. We've got a basic map in our minds. Actually, on paper is the best place to put it. So next, it's the do part. So plan, do, review. So next section is do. So you just do the plan. So you got a strategy in place. Now we have to execute that. And this may come as a shock, but the strategies never the problem in people's businesses. I've seen people have the greatest strategy in the universe to win. And where they fail, where all businesses fail, is in the execution. They just don't execute. And this is such a huge problem out there, and why I became a Tony Robbins coach. So I have a master's degree in nutrition. And I always said that, after I started working with clients, and I worked with thousands of clients over the past 30 years, that if I was going to go back to college and get a PhD, it would be in psychology. Because it's not about that I need more nutrition knowledge. I know exactly how to help anyone change their health. I've been working with Dr. Wallach for 35 years. The problem is the execution of doing what Dr. Wallach tells you to do on a daily basis. So it's one thing that say, follow this good food, bad food list, take these supplements, do this, do that, do that. It's all actually, it's really rather simple on how to achieve perfect health, optimal health. The problem is the execution part. And that's why I became a Tony Robbins trainer, was to understand the psychology behind how and why we do things. So we all have different patterns, first and foremost. So we get caught up in these patterns in life. If you sat down and just thought about, okay, what's my pattern? Well, I usually get up at this time. Then I usually do this. Then I feel this way. Then I usually think this. Then I do that. Then I feel this way. Then I do that. Then I'm tired. Then I do this. And then I go to bed usually at this time. And then I get up and do it over again. So if you were to sit down and really think about it for 10, 15 minutes, you could come up with your pattern. This is the way I live life. And it's a weekly pattern, a monthly pattern, a yearly pattern that we tend to do over and over and over again. So one of the things that I become a master at is pattern recognition. So I'm very good at witnessing people's patterns and helping people see patterns. And it's kind of hard to actually see it yourself at times, because it's us. It's like you're in the forest. You can only see the trees. You can't see the forest. So having someone else do this with you is huge, because we all have blind spots, I call them, where things that we can't see that we're doing, but they're just continually happening all the time to us. And we sometimes don't even know how to get out of that cycle, that pattern ourselves. So often you need a certified holistic health coach to help you not only recognize those patterns, but help you change those patterns. This has to be a lifestyle change. We call this, Dr. Wallach named this 90 for life, not 90 for 90 days or 90 for 30 days or 90 until you get healthy. It's 90 for life. This has to be a lifestyle change. And that's what we specialize in, is helping people make that long-term behavior change. I'm the type of person who lives a health and wellness lifestyle. I don't even know anything else. Like if they closed the gym, I would break the window to get in. I mean, that's who I am. So I've developed this identity that I have now owned and actually become. So one of the things we do under Do is we help people first and foremost get their thoughts right. So the average person thinks 60,000 thoughts a day. And it's estimated that about 85% of them in most people are negative. So we're walking around with all these negative thoughts. Now we're getting thoughts from all kinds of sources, from social media, from TV, from other people, from past experiences, from all kinds of places that are getting these different thoughts into our minds. So one of the best recommendations I can make to people is to really protect your mind. I do not watch TV. I do not watch the news. If you told me that something happened, I'm sure I'm going to find, if it's super important, I'm going to find out one way or the other. But I do not intentionally, watch anything on TV, because it's not going to help me elevate my life. There's nothing I can control that is going to be reported on some newscast. And you're like, well, Paul, you're just being ignorant. No, I know the truth about everything. I stay enough in the loop to know what's going on. There's Bill's stab right there in the chat there. I do know what's going on with the Bills and can help coach them anytime. So give me a call if you have a question on the next game. Just joking about that. So it's having, first of all, the most important thing is protecting your mind from any negative. One of the things I love doing and helping people do is actually go through their Facebook feed or their Instagram feed. And people say, well, that's just such a waste of time having, spending time on social media. Not my social media. If you go to my social media account, it is one personal growth guru after another. My feed is like $1 billion personal growth program. Now, if I see someone who somehow gets in my feed that I don't want that in my face or in my mind, I hit this great feature that it's on social media called block. So I block people. I blocked hundreds of people already. I block certain ads. I block certain this, that, so that my feed is all personal growth. Whatever I'm looking at that moment, if it's not elevating my life to a new level, then I delete it. I never want to see that again. And where that goes for people or whatever it is that I'm looking at, groups I'm in. So everything is about elevate. I am obsessed with this word elevate and making my life 1% better today. So our big mantra, if we're going to have a thought. So I say 20 times every morning, 20 times every afternoon, 20 times every night, that my life is getting better and better every day in every way. My life is getting better and better every day in every way. My life is getting better and better every day in every way. And it's this concept of auto-suggestion. It's just keeping whatever you put in your mind, whatever thoughts you're thinking are the thoughts that's going to grow. Wherever thoughts go, energy flows. So we want to make sure the energy is flowing towards the right things. What's wrong is always available. If I ask you what's going wrong in the world, we could sit here for the next 4, 5, 6 hours or longer and talk about all of the bad things out there, all the things that are going wrong. Let's not talk about that. Let's focus on what's going right. So I have programmed my mind. I fire and wire all the time, the thoughts that I want going through my mind. So I have the same 60,000 thoughts anybody else does, or number of thoughts a day, but my 60,000 are all positive thoughts because of the way I've fired and wired my brain over the years. This isn't going to happen overnight, but if you get super into affirmations and blocking out the bad things, getting good at that, then over time you can wire your mind to act a certain way. We all make decisions in life. Some people come up to me and they say, well, Paul, I'm really not a morning person. I ask them, well, when did you decide that? Because we decide these things. It isn't some like genetic makeup that I'm not a morning person. You just decided that. I hated mornings before, but I've now wired my brain to love them. I love getting up at 5 a.m. every morning. I feel horrible if I don't now. But I wasn't always that way. I used to hate mornings, growing up, and one of the hardest things for me to do was wire my brain for going to bed at 10 p.m. Because I remember as a kid, my parents would make me go to bed and I'm like, but all the good shows come on, what, like 9, 10 p.m. at night. Those are the juicy ones, do you want to stay up and watch? So I associated pain growing up to going to bed early. So a big shift I had to do in my own thinking was associating pleasure with going to bed at 10 p.m. Because a lot of people like to stay up late and watch shows and stuff. Watch Netflix is the big thing now. But that's not who I am. I'm the type of person that goes to bed at 10 p.m. every single day. So once you decide on it's not, you don't get what you want in life. So we can set all the goals we talk about. This is a goal setting podcast here. You can set all the goals you want in life, which aren't going to mean a thing. You don't get what you want in life. You don't get the goals you set. You get who you are. So you got to become the type of person that can achieve those goals. So I became that type of person by creating my identity. So again, this isn't living life by default. This is living life by design. So, and you're like, well, how am I going to figure that out? That's impossible to figure out. One of my biggest tricks in health and wellness is telling my clients to walk around all day long and ask themselves one question. What would a healthy person do right now? Now, you don't even need to know a healthy person. But let's say you park at the supermarket. Do you think a healthy person parks next to the door or far away? Far away, because they're always thinking about getting more steps in. You think a healthy person takes the stairs or takes the elevator? They take the stairs because it's an opportunity to get more steps in. You think at lunch they're eating a salad, with some chicken, or are they eating a cheeseburger and fries? Again, you don't even have to know a healthy person. You're going to know the answer is salad with chicken. So this is super easy. You're just starting to ask yourself better questions. What would a healthy person do? What would someone who's successful do right now? Would they go sit on the couch and watch Netflix? Probably not. So it's just asking the right questions and modeling really people who have already become successful. So this whole thing is this do part is about getting your thoughts right. So I'll have numerous mantras. The number one mantra that I just went over, which was, my life is getting better and better every day in every way. Before I go to bed every night, I say to myself, today was better than yesterday, but not as good as tomorrow is going to be. Today was better than yesterday, but not as good as tomorrow is going to be. I'm setting my mind up for success. I'm setting my mind up that as good as today was, tomorrow is actually going to be even better. Every morning I wake up and listen to this song. I think it's by American authors. 5 a.m. I get out of bed, turn on the same song every single day. It's called Today is going to be the best day of my life. So I start my day off with the thought that today is going to be the best day of my life. And you can just see when you start getting your mind heading in the right direction, you're more than likely to keep going that way. Now, do things slide in, the unexpected things that hit me in the side of the head around 10 or 11 a.m. that I didn't see coming? Absolutely. But I've gotten so good over the years, and as you do this more and more, you can get knocked off track to get back on. I think a lot of people, they get hit with something and then it knocks them off track and then they're done for the day. They're just they spiral off the road and crash. But it's super important we use this trick called, Cheryl and I teach this trick called WORM, which actually is spelled a little weird, but it's W stands for witness. So I witness myself going sideways. Cheryl and I always joke about, how quickly are things going to go sideways in this meeting or, whatever we're doing. And then it's interrupt. So we stop, because you can see this thing spiraling out of control. And the next thing is results. So go back to the results you want. What is it? What is that result that you set already that you wanted in your business or in your life or in your health, whatever it is? And then finally, the M, the mantra. What is the mantra you're going to go back to? Again, my main mantra, I have about 15 of them, but my main mantra is, my life is getting better and better every day in every way. So I go back to that, get my mind back on track. And then I got my thoughts. AJ has got a question. Is that a hand up or let me just take a pause and see if I'm supposed to be talking this much or if there's any kind of questions out there that you want to ask me.
You're supposed to talk as long as you like to talk on Daily with Doc. But I have two kind of comments for you. One, when you're talking about the, I want you to know your thoughts on the concept of kind of like an avalanche of when you're thinking positive thoughts, they kind of build. And if you think negative thoughts, they build. And either way you decide to go, it's kind of like a snowball, it gets bigger and bigger as it goes down the hill.
So, Becker, I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast that I also am certified by John Maxwell, who's a leadership coach. And if I was to suggest one book, well, besides the Bible, to business owners to follow in life, it would be the 21 Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. And one of his laws is the law of the big Mo. So you want the big Mo on your side. Now, Mo stands for momentum. So you're right about that. Like what happens is in the beginning, you got no momentum. You're reading these things. You're like, this is a waste of time. This is the worst advice I've ever gotten in my entire life. You feel like you're watching the paint dry, your grass grow. This is not working. But I love the example of momentum in that if I was to give you $1 million right now, or offer you a penny doubled every day for 30 days, which would you take?
Well, I know better. So I take the penny doubled, right? It's
crazy. Like, okay, so on day 2, you got 2 cents. Like this is, I mean, in day 17, you're still, I think you're making like $150 $49 or something. It's something super low. But as these last days start going by, you land up with like $5.4 million, some crazy number like that. So you can, it's a great example to see the power of consistency, the power of momentum, doing it every day for 30 days. Now, what's super interesting, my favorite part of this story is if you take a penny doubled every other day. So a penny doubled every day is 5.4 million. A penny doubled every other day for 1 month is $164. So it points out that the single importance of the word consistency. When we talk about taking your supplements, have you been taking your supplements? Yeah. Every day? Well, most of the time. Like, this can't be a Monday, Wednesday, Friday type of thing. This has got to be every day. Your body needs these 90 essential nutrients. And I underline the word needs. We don't call them essential for no reason. You have to have them every single day. So you got to be consistent 7 days a week. Well, Paul, what about Christmas? I mean, you take them on Christmas too? Yeah, every day. What about your birthday? You don't take your supplements on your birthday, do you? Every day. Every day you take them. And that's how you get ultimate health. It's not just a once in a while thing. It is every single day, 7 days a week. So yeah, thinking these thoughts, you just got to stick with it. And all of a sudden you get this big mo on your side. And when the big mo's on your side, everything's going right. You got that train running down the tracks at 400 miles an hour. It's going, I don't care if you put up a brick wall, I don't care. I'm going right through it. But if the train's going 2 miles an hour and you got a brick wall, it's just nothing's going anywhere. So you got to get the big mo on your side. And that only comes from doing it every day, being consistent. So it's getting that first, some people say it's 21 days. Some people say it's 66 days or whatever different research you can look up on. But I promise you, there comes a point, and it's not long, where it becomes who you are. So it's, in the beginning, it's reading it, it's doing these types of things that I'm going over in this podcast. And it feels like this isn't working. And this isn't working at all. But you got to stick with it. And I promise you, for every single person listening to this, you stick with it, And I love the 90-day thing. I love, give me 90 days with the 90 essential nutrients, 90% of your problems that I can fix. I need some time. You've been programmed for so long. You've been nutrient deficient for so long. It's going to take me a while to undo all that. I can't do it in 30 days. So I rather have more time than less, obviously. Many times I can fix things in a couple of weeks or, a month. But when it comes to your health, your mindset, business, give it some time. So let's, can you give me 90 days? As a matter of fact, with the Elevate Your Life business or community that Cheryl and I run on, I don't know if you know this, but on Sunday is a very, very important day of the year. September 21st means that there's 100 days left in 2024. So we're running this 100-day challenge coming up here that we're going to be working with people who are interested on finishing their years strong. So everything I'm going over here in this podcast, we'll be doing in this Finish Strong program. You can join us, and it's free to join. And we're just helping people, even if the first, part of this year has been a dumpster fire, things have gone wrong. And just, you had some New Year's resolutions when you started the year and, they all went sideways. And you're like, Paul, this has been a bad year for me. I just have not gotten on track at all. It's okay. Because we all know that every football game, even Bills games, are won and lost in the fourth quarter. So you got to make these last 100 days powerful. You got to finish strong. So we talk about start fast, finish strong. But there's no way you're going to start 2025 fast if you don't finish 2024 strong. So it's so critical to finish this year strong and really say, okay, I'm going to take what Paul says in this podcast here and use it. And even though things haven't gone this well this year for me, I know I can still win this game, win the year.
So Paul, how can we get involved in that? I'm all in. All in.
Me too.
So
yeah, so you just go to
others.
Yep, we have a Facebook group called Elevate Tribe. So it's spelled like the words behind me, Elevate, ELEV8 Tribe, 2 words. You go there, and we're going to have a sign-up form there in a few days. Actually, tomorrow we'll have it up there. And then it starts, on Sunday, we'll have a a podcast coming out that just talks about this Finish Strong 100-day challenge. But you know, even if you happen to hear this recording after that date, it's okay. You can join whenever. You know, it'll be the Finish Strong 90-day challenge for you, or whatever it's going to be. Whenever you get in, you can join anytime. But we want to really, I like getting in on 100 days. You know, so you got some time to make things actually work this year and not leave it up to the last couple of weeks of the year. You know, don't come to me December 15th saying I got to finish this year strong, because it's going to be a little late by then. But 100 days, you can change your life in 100 days.
Absolutely. AJ, you had another question or comment?
Yeah, just another quick one, and it's part of the reason that it's so important for me to be with you on Mondays, because having that positive person, you're all, I mean, you know, I don't know what you do at home, right? But whenever you're with us, you're always, hey, everybody, let's get it going. You know, you're always positive. You're always on it. My question is, what do you think about reading biographies of people that are, or like, if we can't be with positive people, you know, what do you think about that type of stuff?
Yeah, I love it. Again, my social media feed is just filled with, you know, Tony Robbins, James Clear, Jim Rohn, Bob Proctor. You know, like, I just keep going on and on about the people that who do I want to influence me today? Zig Ziglar. I mean, anybody, you know, they're alive or dead. Wayne Dyer. And I'm just constantly listening to these different, maybe the reels, maybe a minute or two long, or, you know, a post that they made, or whatever that they got going on. I just, all day long, if I'm, you know, I got a little break and I'm just like anybody else, I'm go check out social media, take a little break. At least I'm feeding my mind good things, you know, and always looking for the next little Joe Dispenza recording on manifestation that I'm going to watch, you know, and it gets me back on track. So it's all about getting this whole thing on track and heading in the right direction, and to constantly feed. What do we, you know? So I love this story about the two wolves. You know, you got this wolf over here and wolf over here, and you know, you're wondering, where is a positive wolf going to win or the negative wolf going to win? And the truth is, whatever wolf you feed is the wolf that will win. So we want to feed that good side, you know, and again, what's wrong is always going to be there. So let's constantly, and it's, you know, motivation is just like bathing. It really helps if you do it every day, you know, so it's not just something you do once in a while. You don't just go to one, you know, event and your life is changing. You know, I'm actually training with Tony Robbins in November at his Unleash the Power Within event in New York City. You know, people come to that, they get all riled up, and people say, oh, those Tony Robbins things, they don't work, because as soon as I go home, back to the old self, you know. And of course, you know, if you don't use that and continue on with that, and you know, that's why we love creating these communities, and we suggest getting a holistic health coach to kind of be there with you and hold you accountable and keep that going. You know, these events are great, but, you know, and Becca will tell you, you know, having that battle buddy, being a former Marine, it's key to have that person with you. So Cheryl and I, I think one of the questions you just asked AJ was about, you know, I don't know what you are off camera, but you seem like a positive guy all the time. You know, but there's ever a moment that I'm not, or, you know, I had something, or Cheryl's not, you know, we stop the other person immediately. Hey, I just stopped Cheryl today. She was saying something. I'm like, hey, we don't say that word. We're never frustrated. You know, we'll work through it. We'll get it. So it's having that person with you, I think, and that's where something we're super, super big on in our Elevate community, is getting with someone and finding someone that you can have as that accountability partner, that battle buddy. And I love one of the things I want to share with everybody is having that battle buddy, and then having a little secret message between the two of you. And the secret message is, I need 8 minutes. So it's an Elevate trick, but I need 8 minutes, which means I'm in a bad place right now. Because even like if Becca would be texting me, hey, Paul, you know, can we talk? And I'm like, I got like 10 things going on. Like, you know, I don't want to say it was that important, you know, like, but if she texts me and she says, I need 8 minutes, I drop everything, because I know she has something that, you know, going on that she needs help with right now. And whenever someone, you know, I'm close with, like Becca, says I need 8 minutes, I know what that means. And I immediately call them. And I got 8 minutes for anybody. that needs that to get, I mean, listen, things went sideways. I need to get things back on track. So doing that with a friend, and that, in my opinion, is being a real friend, is when you can be there during that 8 minutes that they need you the most.
And I agree. And surrounding ourselves with people who are like-minded, positive-minded, people who are dwelling more on that future story rather than the current, because that's how we continue to uplift each other and help each other reach those goals.
Yeah.
Is by focusing on, okay, what is it that we really, really want to achieve?
Yeah. Yeah. It's always knowing that result. It's everything.
Yeah.
I don't like being called a success coach. I like being called a results coach. And that's really what Dr. Wallach always talks about. He's not here for anything but results. We don't sell anything, we solve. So I love the saying that if you're out there doing business, don't sell. Stop selling, start solving. That's my quote. And I'm going to make a bumper sticker out of that. Stop selling, start solving, because it's all about solving problems. And that's what Dr. Wallach's the best at. That's why I love him. That's why I followed him. And I've dedicated my life to sharing his message, because he's all about solving problems, getting results.
Absolutely. And that's why I do what I do. As I had problems, everything that I had tried was not giving me the solution that I was looking for, until I found Dr. Wallach, started putting what he recommended into action, and then decided, man, I got to share this with others. And then I plugged into the program, the Star School, started out as Star School with you and Cheryl. And now it's evolved into Elevate and the Institute of Holistic Health, and just staying plugged in and keeping that 5 years story out. In fact, it was in 2019 was the first time you told me to write my 5-year story. What is my life going to be like in 5 years?
And here we are, 5 years later.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Here we
are. You got your own TV show. And, 5 years ago when we first met, did you ever think you were going to have your own TV show and all this going on?
No. I had a goal. I wanted to get a message out, help the world. Never dreamed it would be, a show like this that's even on TV. But I've been able to surround myself with amazing people who have skills and talents that have allowed us to do this.
Yeah.
And
those things just fall when you got the vision and you really see that vision and spend time with it and let that thing grow. And I love the analogy of planting, like you're going to plant a tomato plant or something, whatever. You're going to start growing tomatoes. Like you planted the seeds and you water, you got to do all those things, but you can't keep on digging the roots up to check to see if it's growing or not. You'll kill it. No. You just got to believe that is growing underneath that dirt. And then sooner or later, you got this corn growing, you got this tomatoes growing, you got, these things growing because you believed in the beginning that it would take off. And, in the beginning, it seems like it's going super slow. Like I'm sure you thought this is never going to work out. But over time, you've been so consistent that here we are.
Yep. So I kept that never word out.
Yeah.
And it's not like things just fall into your lap and happen. You have to work for it.
Yeah.
But you have to know what you're working for, which is something that you had mentioned in the beginning, is having that goal and working towards that and knowing what that goal is. So you know what you're working towards.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely. And knowing that and feeling that is going to put you on a certain vibration. I'm big. I really feel like a lot of so in the Institute of Holistic Health, we're not just about nutrition and exercise and stuff. We're about taking the whole life into consideration here. And one of the things about life is vibration. There is positive vibrations and negative vibrations out there. And I know, Becca, you're very much into 528 and 432 and listen to these great vibrations that can put you in a great place. So all these little tricks out there, you put this helps you 5%, this helps you 10%, this helps you a little bit. You put it all together, and that's how optimal health is created. It's not just do this and you'll have optimal health. It's a lot of things that go into this puzzle. But you put them all together and you've done an amazing job. So I just love being able to watch all this unfold over the years, over these past 5 years, and what an amazing woman you've become and how successful you become, and really, you know, seeing that whole vision come to fruition, which it can for anyone, as long as you follow the steps we just went over in this podcast.
Yep, absolutely. And Rod has his hand up, and then we have another question coming in from the chat. So Rod, what question or comment do you have today?
Hey, Paul, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
How you doing? Good to hear.
How's it going, guy?
Good. Well, I fell in love with you guys in the Institute because of the simplicity of the system that you guys developed. But you was going through the plan, do, review, but I would love for you to reiterate plan what, do what, and review what, because a lot of people are having issues with the system. And we try to keep this as simple as possible, but could you just go over a little bit what you telling people to plan, review, plan, do, and what to review? Because a lot of people are making this way more complicated than it should be, I believe, but also they need to hear from the master of keeping it simple so that we'll know what we're being taught and see how you guys really operate. Because when I got in longevity way back in 2008, I was just doing my own thing all over the place. And then ran into your system, man, that's I think about a year before Beck and I met, we ran into each other there. And then once we got into your system, I think I was a 1-star in the next 3 months or less or something like that. But I was fluctuating back and forth, 1-star, back and forth, back and forth. But once I got into the system, it was so simple. As you said, when you know your direction, it's much easier to get there. You made it clear for us. So thank you for that. And if you don't mind, I had one health question. There was a person who texted me and they said that they have a friend who has cancer and is losing their hair rapidly. If you want to speak on that, I know you have the knowledge as well. So this is your health question for the day as well.
Okay, well, I've got 2 questions to answer right there.
I'm sorry.
So,
wait, you're not a doctor, and that's for tomorrow.
Okay, no problem.
For tomorrow.
We'll save that whole question for tomorrow. Yep.
Okay, no problem. Well, you
I
can
can answer your first
on
question.
That. Appreciate it.
So what we do for everybody is well, first of all, the quote we go by is a great quote from James Clear out of Atomic Habits, another book that I highly recommend anybody running a business or trying to change their health or anything in their life. Want to elevate your life? Atomic Habits is a great book to read. One of the key quotes in the book is that you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So luckily for me, I'm a systems guy. This is just how I've been wired in my life to create systems. And I see so many people set goals all the time. You know, I got this big goal and then they just don't ever achieve them. And it's because their system sucked. They had no great system in place. So I've always been coming up with a system, and it takes a while to develop these different systems, but we finally came up with Plan, Do, Review. This is probably being played, had about, I would say the last 10, 15 years we've been using it and tweaking it a little bit. But under Plan, so what we do every day and what we do in our Elevate course that we're coming out with is that we help people develop a blueprint. So if you're going to live by design, if you decided I'm not going to live life by default, I'm going to live it by design. If you're going to design anything, you need a blueprint. If you're going to design a house, you got a blueprint. So we make a blueprint up for your life. And the blueprint, again, is Plan, Do, Review. It's a system. So we have to develop a system here of how to run your life. So the system is Plan, Do, Review. Under Plan, you got to know the results you want to get. So we go through all 8 areas of life. That's where Elevate comes from. And as an Institute of Holistic Holistic Health Coach, we train people on how to help people with the 8 areas of their life. So we get clear on the results that you want to achieve in all 8 areas. And read those every morning. It's not long. It's a couple sentences a piece. And you get this new, potential story in your mind, as opposed to focusing on this present story that's not working out, or worse yet, some kind of past story that you're focused on that is really never going to serve you. So your future isn't dependent on your past. It's the decisions that we make that determine your destiny. So it's a moment by moment decision to do this. Am I going to take my supplements today or am I not? Am I going to do this? Am I not going to do this? So it's about making decisions. That's what determines your destiny and your future, is the decisions you're making today. So we got to decide on what are the results that we want. Then we got to decide on why we want those, come up with reasons why. read those. And we also want to get clear on the map, how we're going to get from here to here. So we help people develop a map in all 8 areas. And since we're talking about business here today, we have a business plan. This is the plan going into it. This is what we're going to do. Now we got to do. And as I mentioned earlier in this podcast, this is where the train falls off the track. So everyone feels super good after plan. You know, we're doing the seminar, we got everyone's plan. They're like high-fiving each other. They got the best strategy in the world. But then when it comes to going home, and I, if anybody here has ever gone to like a convention or some kind of event, like 3-4 days, it usually ends on Sunday. You go home, you get up Monday morning, and you're like, okay, what do I do now? Like that was the biggest question of years and years going to these different seminars. Be Monday morning, like, what do I do now? You know, it's the doing. Even if you knew what to do, it was hard to get myself to do it. So I became fascinated on the execution part. How do I get people to execute the plan that's in place? And all it comes down to is 3 things. It's your thoughts, your beliefs, and your emotions. Those things dictate how you act throughout the day and what you do and what you don't do. So we got to get your thoughts right. And we have a whole pattern and a whole system of how to get your thoughts right. We have beliefs. So I work with people. I find out, are there any limiting beliefs in you, that you think, well, Paul can do it, but I can't. Like if you're going to bet against 2 people in life, you'd bet against me and Cheryl. I mean, there's no way that either one of us are going to be successful. We have no history of like awesomeness in our families or, growing up in the rich and famous, like none of that. Like, especially Cheryl's, I thought I had a bad story. Cheryl's always even crazier, but she's been one of the most successful women in the entire country. Growing up on a farm in Eagle, Idaho, coming from absolute zero. So it's not where you start from. It's getting clear on the results you want, the reason why you want those results, coming up with a map, and then, getting your thoughts, your beliefs, and your emotions in a good place. And that's can be easier said than done, but we have systems behind each one of those things on how to get these 60,000 thoughts to be positive a day, how to get your beliefs heading in the right direction, how to get your emotions. And this really, your state is everything. So the quality of your life is the quality of the emotions that you have. And I ask everybody, what is your emotional home? What do you go back to? And most people, they go back to, upset or frustrated or overwhelmed, or, Becca and I talk about this all the time. I ask her, Becca, where's your emotional state at right now? I know you're living in Washington, which is your physical state where your physical body's at, but where's your emotional home? Where are you living emotionally? You got to condition and train yourself to live in a better place. I live in gratitude. I write my gratitude journal every day. So my number one emotion all the time is gratitude. I live things that I love. I live in a place of love, joy, and peace. So those are the 3 spiritual words that I use. I'm always loving, warmth, so I have these emotions inside of me, and maybe you can feel these coming out of me when I'm speaking, that I really, truly love all of you, that I do live in peace inside, and that, I got rid of the conflict inside of me. And it's about being joyful, like living life full of joy. So now is there times during, for instance, a Bills game that goes out the window? Of course it does. But I'm trained my central nervous system to get back on track faster than not. And then to review, what do you review? You just go over the things that you've been doing. Are you moving closer to your results? What's going good? So I always want to wire my brain of what's going good. What are my wins? So every day I have 3. I don't go to bed without writing down my 3 wins. Actually, I write them, what my 3 wins are going to be for tomorrow already, or yesterday, or what they're going to be for today. So I have my 3 wins. I get those 3 wins. And if you do the math, over a year, I have over 1,000 wins. So how do you think I feel after 1,000 wins on New Year's Eve? I mean, I feel fantastic. You do this for 5-10 years in a row. I got 10,000 wins. I mean, I feel amazing about myself. And I call that my cookie jar. So I can always go back to the cookie jar and look at Paul, you had 10,000 wins. I mean, you could do anything. So but we forget about those. Everyone listening to this podcast has had 10,000 wins in the past 10 years. You're just not writing them down. You're not wiring your mind to look for those. You go to bed at night, you've done 10 things happen today. 9 of them were good. 1 was bad. We think about the 1 bad thing. So we got to condition our minds to look for the good, write down those celebrations. Now, we're not going to sweep the challenges under the carpet. We're going to write those down too. hey, I got a challenge with this, this, and this. We all got challenges. And as the more successful you get in business, the more challenges you're going to have. Those don't go away, but challenges make you grow. Without challenges, you can't grow. So I write those challenges down, and I come up with some changes. So I always want to remind myself, oh, this is the change I'm really focused on making this week in my health or in my business or in my spiritual life or in my relationships. So I focus on that one change, and then boom, I start my day. So this is something that I go through the blueprint every single morning. It takes me 10 minutes. I'm looking through my blueprint. Now my mind is right. I've got my mind right in the right place. I'm heading in the right direction, and I'm ready to crush the day. I got this big sign on my computer here, dominate your day. So I dominate every single day because of the clarity I have going into the day and the mindset that I've been able to achieve inside of myself. And I help everyone do the same thing.
You do a great job at it. Says a lot of what you have taught, and being like one of my battle buddies. So somebody that, when it's like WIRM, WIRM.
Yep.
That has been one of my biggest things that I've held on to. And that interrupt in using those frequencies, you had mentioned the 528 and the 432, and there's 888, there's 777, there's 1111, those different things that we're able to just even have it playing in the background, to help block out some of those thoughts. You just don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Now,
we in the Elevate Tribe, we post these different recordings. So if you want to listen to one of those, we find the best ones and post them, so you can go in there and find them. And they're fantastic to listen to. Like you said, in the background, I got them playing in the background all the time. So I'm always on that good frequency.
Yeah, definitely want to keep a good frequency. And you had mentioned, the 8 minute, hey, you got 8 minutes. Well, find a battle buddy, folks. Find somebody that you can go through life with, whether it's working on your health, working on business, both, that you can both be accountable to. But most importantly, I'm going to encourage everybody to get connected in with the Elevate Your Life group. It is found on Facebook. Just type in Elevate, and it's ELEV, the number 8, Your Life, and join that group. And the health coaching course, I think, is one of the best things that you and Cheryl have put together. They're teaching Dr. Wallach's philosophy on how our body, when we got deficiency, you've got 4 areas of health that are being affected. And if those things are being affected, that's kind of the core. I mean, you can think yourself sick. You can think yourself well, but the nutrition part, that's the foundation. And I love how that is taught, and everything is just pulled together, and we're able to create and be part of a community that works together and keeping that positive mindset. So thank you so much, Paul, for being on with us today. As part of the Daily with Doc, amazing speakers that we're able to pull together and bring in and share with our audience, share with the world. And folks, if you'd like more information about the coaching course, go to www.coachwithdoc.com. That is COACHWITHDOC.com. You can get some more information about how you also can be part of the solution when it comes to so many different things in life, starting with ourselves. So, Paul, again, thank you so much for being here with us. We are at the top of the hour. We want to be respectful of your time and everybody's time. Do you have a tree link or link tree? Or something
it's my name,
that
paulkroto.info.
paulkroto.info. So folks, you can get connected there as well. But don't forget, dailywithdoc.com. You can use that contact option if you do have questions and you want to be part of the Daily with Doc team and you are not currently working with somebody. Send us an email at info@dailywithdoc.com, and we are, I mean, we have open arms. If you've got skills that you want to put to use in helping a community, we've got a place at the table for you. I'd like to have our co-hosts, people that have raised their hand and say, hey, I have some skills, I want to help out. How can I be put to better use? Here as part of the Daily with Doc team, today we have on with us Sherry, who's part of our tech crew and getting the stream out. Thank you, Sherry. We have Marilyn, who is very instrumental in putting information into the chat. So for those of you who are hearing things, it's like, what did they say? Well, if you're here live with us, she's writing it down so you can refer to it later. We have Ruth Ellen, who is part of our, well, she's actually my executive production manager. And just want to say thank you, Ruth Ellen, as she keeps us organized and on track. We had Rod that was up here just a little bit ago, helping to let people in and watching the different platforms. And we have, last but not least, we have AJ, who has been very instrumental in using his skills to get us on all the different platforms, including TV. So thank you so much to my team and to all of you who have invested the last hour into your lives. AJ, what am I missing?
Dr. Wallach is with us tomorrow, and he's unmuted now.
Oh, Dr. Wallach is here as well. Thank you so much, Doc. I'm glad you got it figured out all on your own. Fantastic. Thank you, Doc. It's because of you. We are all here. Say that one more time, Doc.
Oh, thank you, everybody. God bless. And I look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow. It's going to be a great information show. Very exciting. We have a lot of new stuff for tomorrow.
Absolutely. So join us tomorrow, same place, same time, zoom.dailywithdoc.com from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific time. Now, Paul, every Monday, well, not for the next few Mondays because there's so many great things coming, but starting October 21st on Mondays for the coaches, those that are involved, we have Monday trainings. It's like a start the week off strong. We're celebrating together. What do you think, and what have you seen as being the biggest impact when it comes to a community?
Yeah, so in the book I was referring to, James Clear wrote Atomic Habits. He wrote The Power of Community, I talked about that in his book, but now he's writing another book that's only based on community. He knew that this was a big factor, but who you are around is who you will become, period, the end. So just go ahead and think about the 5 people you spend the most time with. That's who you're going to be. So being around the right people will make you or break you. I don't care how strong you think your mindset is or your habits are or whatever. You hang around the wrong people for long enough, you will be wrong, just like they are. So it's all about being around the right people. We have a community of the best of the best. One of my visions on my results board is to be surrounded by the best of the best people, and being around you and all the people on the screen right now, the best of the best that there is. I'm simply I've never met better people than the crew you have here, of people that are just amazing human beings that are just focused on helping other people. And they know by helping other people and elevating their lives is going to be elevated as well. So we have the best people on the planet, and it's the community that makes everything elevate. So if you don't feel like you're around the right people right now, then you're in the wrong community. So you got to, it will make or break you.
Absolutely. And you talked about, writing down the things that you're grateful for. And if I had 5 things to be grateful for, they're already on the screen. but there's 6. So it's amazing to be able to not have to go searching for those things that you're grateful for, because they're surrounding you.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love that. So everybody, you have been watching Daily with Doc. You are in the right place at the right time. It takes action to make sure that you stay there. And we invite you to be part of this community. Get back with the person that shared this program with you and say, hey, I want to be part of the community. I want to be surrounded by the best of the best. And it's a pretty great place to be, folks. I invite you to be part of it. If you're not working with anybody, then please give us a call at 855-949-3377. That's 855-949-3377. And you will be connected with a certified holistic health coach that has been trained in how to take the steps to get involved in the right community. So until next time, my name is Becca Dukes. Thank you so much again for joining us, and join us tomorrow with Dr. Joel Wallach, the founder of this great crusade on Daily with Doc.
Awesome.
Bye for now.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks,
Bye-bye,
Paul.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Doc. Thank you.
Bye, Becca. Bye. Bye.
Have a great day. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach.